Okay, hello and welcome to this first episode of Get Intro, I thought we could call it.
Okay, yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know if that works. This is a little thing that we're doing for our Patreon, where we are going to look at the introductions of some famous or significant or fun video games and consider how they draw us into their world through objects, and just look at, just enjoy a bit of film club and watching a bit of the first parts of some video games. Today, I thought to kick off is that we would start with an absolute classic intro. It's Bioshock by Irrational Games, I believe, which was
hmm
released in 2007.
Seven.
Seven?
I go
Okay.
from memory. I think that's right.
I think that is right. I really, really distinctly remember playing this game for the first time, and it was when I was just moved to Brighton and stuff like that, and that would have been 2007. I assume you've played this game, Paul?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I like it. I think Bioshock is a funny one because it. I feel like the series continued in a way where it felt like it had to be about really big concepts.
Yeah,
But for me, the really impressive thing about Bioshock was always actually this first 15 minutes and the city that you get introduced to, which I love being in so much. I just love it as an environment to play in.
yeah. It's a yeah. They even Infinite, which isn't as
Mm.
good, still has a
Mm.
very good intro.
Yes.
So yeah, yeah. They definitely know how to do it, how to introduce you to a world. That's for sure.
Yeah, and draw you in. Yeah. Okay, so brilliant. So what we're going to do is in just a second, me and Paul are both going to press play at exactly the same time, hopefully.
Mm.
And we will be watching the first 15 minutes of footage, which I recorded yesterday. And we are just going to talk over it, and we hope that you enjoy our commentary. Okay, Paul, are you ready to press play?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say three, two, one.
Is it three, two, one? Press.
I've got this. Yeah, it's three, two, one, go. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
brilliant. All right, here we go. Three, two, one, go. And we're both in straight away. I was going to ask, do you think the HUD elements count as objects within a game?
Wait a minute. What do you mean we're both in straight away? I've got a menu.
Yeah,
Shall I
that's
not
what
have
I was
started at the
saying.
beginning
Like
of the
the
video?
menu.
Oh,
No,
oh, does it count as
sorry.
an? Oh,
Do you think menu items? Do you think those kinds of things count as items? Do you think we would be able to do an episode about that?
that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. On the fly, I have no idea. Maybe it's. It depends because some menus are explicitly items, right, in the game world. Like
Yes. Yeah.
they're objects and like they're diegetic. Diegetic menus.
Mm,
So
mm.
yeah, maybe. But then does non-diegetic menus count? I don't know. I'd have to think about
I
it.
I think we'll need to think about it, but I think there's some games where they do it so stylishly that it might be worth looking at.
Yeah. Cigarette, right? First object. That tells you
First
something
object.
about the context of the object, places you in time, because there's a cigarette on an aeroplane, which you cannot do now.
I thought that. Yes, I'm not sure cigarettes have ever been allowed on aeroplanes in my lifetime. Maybe.
I don't think it's not in our lifetime. I don't think.
No. All right.
But yeah, back
And
in the
here
day.
we go.
Yeah.
This is really nice as well. We're going to see the title card, or like the title of the game, sort of rust over like that.
Yeah.
Very physical feeling straight away. It's like it really grounds it in the world.
Yeah. And a nice little introduction to the aesthetics we're going to be playing with. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So we're in the sea. We're in the briny.
Yeah.
Handbags. We've got some fuselage. Is it called fuselage? From just anything
Yeah.
from a plane, I call fuselage.
Yeah. That's the direction I'd go as well. Yeah.
Okay, So obviously it's been a bit of a disaster for lots of people because there's like handbags and personal mementos and stuff floating about.
Yeah. So it's very, yeah. It's clear that it's clear that we're kind of in the middle of nowhere at this point, based on the fact that we've been in a plane. That tells you we're on someone's journey, and we're now in the sea. So yeah, we're going to see
Lovely.
some. Oh, that's
Bit of
telling us where to
excitement.
go.
Yep.
So that these lights, right, on the
Yeah.
lighthouse. This is
Yeah.
a use of developers do this all the time. They use light to subconsciously tell you which direction to go in. So
Yeah.
like they will often, if there's multiple doors in a room, there'll be in some way the door that you can go through will be like lit up in some way. It's like meant to be like a subconscious thing. Like so, these objects have a design purpose. Like you instinctively go towards these lights, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know the way. I love the way the moon's out tonight as well. I just think that's kind of interesting. I love to see the moon represented in anything really, but I feel like Bioshock isn't really a game that's interested in like it's a full moon, and normally that would be a source of like some kind of symbolic, almost like magical significance.
Yeah.
But Bioshock isn't really a game that's interested in that stuff. But you still can't resist. If you're going to put the moon in, you might as well do a full moon because it's just a bit more potent or something.
Yeah, a bit more dramatic.
Yeah, just a bit more dramatic. Exactly. Yeah, I like to see it there.
Yeah. Okay. So
Here
we've
we
got the
go.
Andrew Ryan statue.
Yeah, statues is worth doing an episode on at some point, I think.
Yeah.
The idea of statues and of some people being like weighty and having gravitas, and those are the people with statues, that's like a really core idea, I think, to the whole Bioshock. Even
Yeah.
what we've made of it, even the way Ken Levine gets talked about with respect to Bioshock and stuff like that, is very much
Yeah.
this like great man, weighty ideas kind of thing.
Yeah. And the fact, so he's got a statue and a plaque. And
He does.
So that tells you, so obviously, like you said, this tells you something about the whole great man thing, but this is significant. This is a place run by Andrew Ryan,
Yeah.
who has built himself his own statue and plaque. So that tells you something about his own conception of himself.
It
and
really
his
does.
importance in this world.
Yeah.
And this, don't you think this is quite stately? Like if you went to see, I don't know, like George Washington's big statue thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
This world's meant to be anti-state, anti-government.
Yes.
But it's using the same. Benedict Anderson has this thing about imagined communities.
He
I don't know
does.
if you're familiar with that. Yeah.
I am,
Okay.
yeah.
So these fictions that you tell yourself that build the nation, and statues and stuff are a part of that. So they're doing the same work of myth making of Bioshock through like the things that state would use, even though they're supposed to be anti-state.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we have like a propaganda film for the state of, or for the city of Rapture,
Yeah.
comparing it with all these other.
It's notable that it starts with an advert, I think, as well, before they launch into the propaganda. There's a brief screen of an advert that tells you something about the society already. This is the first explicit introduction you're getting as a visitor, and the most important thing is the advert first. So yeah, this is a capitalist.
Yes,
society.
absolutely. Yeah. The first thing we see. Lots of games do that, don't they? I feel like that's been a real thing in Fallout games as well. Like, almost introducing you to a world through the advertising, which, as you say, really establishes that what kind of world we're dealing with here. We're dealing with one that's intensely commercial.
Maybe it says something about our world as well, that we feel that introducing to people through a world through products is like the most obvious thing to do.
But look at this. Here we are in Rapture. I absolutely fucking love it. I feel like the whole series, as I say, just gets made on the basis of like even just this section when you're going through on the bathysphere is so beautiful.
This is all clearly as well like Art Deco style, and this we've been told at the beginning of the game that this is 1960, so that suggests this has already been here for some time, right? Because the heyday of Art Deco in America
Yes.
is like, I don't know, 20s, 30s or
Yeah,
something.
it is. Yeah, I actually remember having that thought as we were playing it, because you sit there and you're trying to like locate it and figure out what's going on just from any cues you're getting. And as you say, the cues we're getting here are all very deco. But we had already been told it was 1960 whatever when we were on the plane.
1960. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah.
we know this has been here for some time. It's implied. Yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, again, we know it's capitalist consumer society because we've got big glowing signs everywhere.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah,
that's clear.
the neon signs, they're really beautiful. I think that the use of colour, I was going to say actually, within the Unreal Engine, I love so much. I think you get often these games that are made with Unreal get these beautiful saturated colours where it's like really bright and like lustrous almost. And Bioshock really shows it off beautifully. The fact that you've got these dull greens sort of receding into the background with these beautiful neon lights over a lot of the time. Just lovely.
Two things on weapons there.
Okay.
He said he has a gun. Well, he said you can keep my gun. The fact that he's got a gun tells us something about this being a dangerous place. Although I guess if you're an American, like having a gun's maybe not a signal of anything unusual, but to us
Not that weird. Yeah.
But she kills him with hooks, right?
Yes.
Killing people with hooks. This is a weapon of the deranged. Like
Yes.
the only people who use hooks to kill people are like serial killers and like so that.
Yes,
I mean,
great point.
I mean, it's pretty clear that this person isn't normal from the beginning, but hooks. Yeah, who uses hooks to kill people? You've got to be messed up if you're using hooks as a weapon, I think.
Ah, that's such a good point. Yeah, absolutely. Straight away, we're here with this derangement because this is the first sign we've seen that something is wrong, and it tells you so clearly that something is really, really very badly wrong here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and yeah, introducing you to a city through derangement straight away is really important for Rapture because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a city that's gone mad, which I love. I also love these starfish on the window, I've got to say. Big fan of them. It's just weird. It's alien. Like, this is so... it's just such a lovely environment. I just think it's, really beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of the like most striking and memorable in video games for sure. This big environmental storytelling thing here, a kind of a branch of it that's kind of sometimes mocked and criticised, but placards are intimately associated with the aesthetic of protest. So even if you don't read the slogans, we can see, okay, something's gone wrong here. There's been conflict here. Also, objects here not in the place they should be. The displacement of objects from where they should be, again, tells you things have gone wrong.
Lovely. You've been paying attention. I also like all those cancelled, traffic services. It was like train service or something. There was a board saying cancelled. Quite terrifying to see, really. It's like things have broken down, things aren't moving the way they should be.
Yeah, it gives us does a lot of legwork. The wrench is a weapon from System Shock 2.
Okay.
For me, this is a deliberate way of establishing the legacy with System Shock, which this is, Bioshock is effectively it's a kind of a spiritual successor. So yeah.
I really enjoyed the wrench. I was having a bit of fun swinging that around. It has a lovely weight to it, and you can see that the way his hand is like, slapping it against his other hand and stuff. He's obviously enjoying it. I'll add here, and
I built my character. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say that weightiness in Bioshock feels quite important for the kind of like the way things move and the way that we want to think about characters in this game. As I've said, we've already talked about Andrew Wine, but we're going to meet some big daddies, and again they're like boom, 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 like just heaviness, weight, and that you see that in the combat mechanics as well. Just things seem to have a nice heft about them in Rapture.
We've seen an Eve hypo there, where we don't know what that is at this point. But the fact that it's a needle and it's a hypo, like it brings to mind like steroids or something. It like suggests enhancement of some kind.
Yeah.
We don't know what that is yet, but you can probably, and obviously you can see you've got a resource bar at the top, so you know you know it's something.
Yes.
Like you've got yeah. That is the biggest go this way. That tells you from a mark. That tells you this is important in the context of the game.
Yeah.
This is important from like marketing perspective. This is important. Go here, but
Yeah.
also in terms of like the fiction of the game and what we need to do now. You need to go here and plasmids. This is important.
Yes.
So that's yeah.
Yeah, and it's like shining and everything. There we go.
Yeah. Now that looks quite brutal, and it's a big needle. That suggests something wrong about what we're doing here, I think. You know what I mean? It's very, that's a very nasty thing to have to stick into yourself. It suggests this is,
Yeah, it's
not
really like
a thing
jacking
to
up
do.
or something. It's horrible.
Do you think those bottles look a bit potiony as well?
They really do. They really do. Yeah, they've got that magical potion vibe to them. We'll need to talk about magical potions at some point, but I wouldn't have thought of Bioshock as a magical potion game, but it really is. Like, it's a world full of wondrous things in bottles.
Yeah, for sure.
So here we go. So we've got a couple of ruffians. They're wearing masks. Masks, I guess we can talk about as well at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think that's on the list yet. That'll have to go on the list.
That will have to go on the list. They're kind of horrifying here.
Again, outside of the context where masks are okay.
Yes.
Like a masquerade party or something, or Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's wearing a mask, like just in the street or something, it's not normal.
And here we go with the Big Daddy and the little sister.
A lot of needles.
Loads of needles, isn't it? I still can't really. I don't quite get what it is that they do with the needles. They like suck bits of your DNA out of you or something like that.
They suck the kind of the Eve out of you, like the. No, it's Adam, isn't it? They suck
Adam.
The I don't know the kind of the stuff that gives you the magical abilities. They suck out of you to kind of keep it recirculating in the economy.
Right.
So you don't, because if you die, like that's like a resource. So the idea is they keep the economy of it circulating. I think that's the idea.
I mean, obviously, a world that would have something like that as part of its economy is kind of horrifying in itself. Yeah. And there we go. I think that's the end of what I recorded. That is the first 15 minutes of Bioshock. It's fun to go back to Rapture.
Yeah, and join us for some more. We'll look at some other introductions through objects, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you for joining us then.